Most people go through life believing that being good means being available, that kindness means always saying yes, that selflessness is the highest form of love. But what if I told you there's a lesson almost everyone learns too late in life? A lesson that quietly shapes your happiness, your relationships, and your future. Today, I want to share a story that reveals that lesson, a story many of us will painfully recognize. Lucy was the kind of person everyone depended on. Work, family, friends. She was always the first to help, the first to volunteer, the first to give up her time, her energy, her weekends. If someone needed a ride, she was there. If a colleague needed someone to cover their shift, she said yes. If a friend needed emotional support at 2 a.m, she stayed awake, even when she had work the next day. Lucy believed this made her a good person. She believed that pleasing others made her lovable, even valuable. But quietly, beneath the surface, she was exhausted. Her life felt like a long list of commitments that weren't even hers. She had dreams, but no time for them. She had limits, but no space to reach them. She was running on empty, and she didn't even notice how invisible she was becoming in her own life. Her own needs, her own voice, were drowned out by the constant chorus of everyone else's demands. She was so busy being everything to everyone that she was becoming nothing to herself. It was a slow fade, a gradual disappearance that she mistook for dedication. One afternoon, Lucy walked past the break room at work. Her co-workers didn't know she was there. She heard laughter, and then she heard her name. Someone said, "She'll do it. Lucy always does. She's too nice to complain." More laughter followed. She froze. Not because they were mocking her, but because, in that one sentence, she finally heard the truth she had been avoiding. People weren't appreciating her kindness. They were exploiting it. Her kindness had become a currency that others spent freely, without a second thought. She walked to the bathroom, shut the door, and just stared at herself in the mirror. Her eyes looked tired, older than she felt. Her smile was something she performed, not something she felt. It was a mask she put on every morning. That single, careless comment from her co-workers didn't just hurt. It shattered the illusion she had been living under. She saw herself not as the kind, selfless person she aspired to be, but as a resource, a convenience. That moment broke her, but it also opened her. It was the painful wake-up call she didn't know she desperately needed. Lucy went home, sat at her kitchen table, and realized something profound. She had been living a life built almost entirely for other people. Her schedule, her energy, her emotional reserves, they were all allocated to others before she even considered herself. So she made one small, terrifying decision. I will start choosing myself, even if it disappoints others. That thought alone was enough to make her heart race. That week, she tried something new. She said no to a favor she didn't have time for. A co-worker asked her to stay late, and for the first time, she simply said, "I'm sorry, I can't today." The co-worker gave her a strange look, a little irritated. Lucy's heart pounded in her chest, but she survived. The world didn't end. The following week, she set her first real boundary. She told her friends and family, "I'm not available outside work hours for work-related matters." Some people pushed back. Some acted offended. A few even stopped talking to her for a while. And yes, it hurt. Each pushback felt like a personal rejection. But something interesting began to happen in the space that opened up. The wrong people slowly started fading out of her life. The ones who liked her more for what she could give than for who she was. The takers, the users, the ones who saw her as a convenience. But as they drifted away, new people drifted in. Or rather, the right people stepped forward. People who respected her time. People who started their conversations by asking how she was doing, not what they needed from her. People who didn't take advantage of her kindness but valued it. People who understood boundaries because they had their own. Lucy began taking an hour each evening for herself. No phone, no emails, just quiet. She started reading again, getting lost in stories. She rediscovered hobbies she'd long forgotten, like painting. She had real time for the things that mattered to her. And something else changed, too. She stopped being exhausted. The chronic fatigue that had become her normal state began to lift. She stopped feeling invisible in her own story. She started feeling alive, present in her own life for the first time in years. Looking back, Lucy realized something almost nobody is taught. Choosing yourself doesn't make you selfish. It makes you whole. Setting boundaries doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you finally start caring about yourself. You don't lose people by setting boundaries. You only lose the people who are benefiting from you having none. And the greatest irony, when you finally value yourself, the world starts valuing you too. When you respect your own time, others learn to respect it. When you honor your own needs, you attract people who honor them as well. The life lesson nobody warns you about is this: you lose nothing by choosing yourself. You only lose the people who never chose you to begin with. The real you, that is. So if this story resonates with you, if you see a bit of Lucy in yourself, maybe it's time to make that one small, terrifying decision. Thank you for watching. If this message helped you, please subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story.